Welcome to the Sorare Lounge, courtesy of the Sorare Thursday Club.
Sante.
I am the one-armed wizard who is still more capable of saving a ZH free kick than an Anna. I'm Ricky, aka the Sorare Mamba, and I'm joined by my glamorous co-hosts, Play Sharper, Everton expert, and Duck Lover, whose big protest day turned into a 3-0 nightmare. This is Johnny, aka the Sorare, aka Tornado, and the man to my right is the guy that changes his gallery direction by the hour, Jesse, aka Swiss Mafia. There we go. Only made about 4 mistakes during the intro, but we're here. How are we this evening, gents? We're going for the 2 men, 1 room look again over here.
Not to be confused with that other program on the internet, 2 women, 1 cup.
Don't pretend you don't know it, Jess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Explaining my joke.
Yeah. I think that was clearly Rick's joke there, but Jesse's just read it between the lines. I love it. Yeah, all good over here, apart from Everton's horrific result on the weekend. I'm sure we'll talk about it later. I'm sure you'll rub it in a bit further. But yeah, we went to watch Bristol City on the weekend as well, didn't we? Saw a nice little 5-goal thriller.
Liam Manning's Cider Army, yeah, a nice 3-2 start to his home tenure. And me and this gentleman will be going on Sunday when they play Norwich.
I wonder if the Norwich boys will be coming.
Sorare Canary, we can hit him up. And Gabriel Sara, my jewel in my crown, will be playing as well. So there'll be split loyalties.
We got him, didn't we, from last time City played Norwich? Like
last season game, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So almost pulled the trigger on buying him like 3 times last year when he was like £100. I don't know what he's worth
at one point. Yeah, he's unreal.
Yeah. What is he now? Because with the drop in prices,
250 quid was his last auction. I had a little look earlier.
Yeah, I'm playing in this game week and he's stuck in another great score again. Yeah, he's captain. He's over 100 as with captain. So
his cheat code.
Yeah,
he is. But he's one of those people that stinks of joining a mid-table to low-table Premier League team and sinking into the background. Although I've never actually watched him play, so
like
probably maybe.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Gus is a sneaky little pick for this weekend as well for the Premier League competition. Already managing to digress ahead to the excitement of the Premier League comp. But yeah, good evening, Red or Dead.
Here he is.
Finally hooked him up with an invite to Rivals once you were out the way. Yeah, and if anyone is listening or joining or watching later on, if you could drop like and subscribe and all that vibe, so we keep the lights on at the podcast. That makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside for the weekend. But yeah, there's your opening admin out the way. How did the weekend go? It was the first weekend of the big 500k winter competition. Was there any success?
Absolutely fuck all. I didn't win a single thing in the winter comp, and I didn't win a single card across the entirety of Sorare for the first time in about 6 months. So on a weekend, that is. So yeah, pretty rubbish for me. I really liked a lot of my teams last weekend as well, which I pretty much say every weekend. But last weekend in particular, I did like them, but they just fell flat on their face. I know you had a bit of success, didn't you, with your ETH?
Well, I did. In last week's show, when we went through our teams, I said my Premier League teams looked a bit wanky, for lack of a better term. But the scores you needed to win money weren't actually that high. I ended up coming in like the lowest tier in yellow and red, but that was 60 quid and a tenner. So 70 quid from the first of 11 game weeks in the Premier League competition. So,
What score did you get out of interest for the rare one where you finished in the bottom tier? Because I was heading into the Sunday games, and I was on about 170, 180, but I had Tarkowski captain and Pickford to play. So I was thinking if Everton kept a clean sheet, obviously it didn't go well, but I was thinking it looked like low scores were getting that bottom threshold, and I was hoping maybe if I got 300, I might get a bit of ETH. Obviously, it didn't happen. Pickford got like 7 points and Tarkowski did shit, but it definitely seemed to be a bit lower than normal you'd expect for cards or prizes or ETH.
Yeah, you've done very well there at filling with a good long ramble there, which has allowed me to find it. ended up 320, which
And
was
what is it that
17th. I think it's top 150 paid, right?
top 150 is it? Okay, so you're probably looking at about what 305 or something to win the bottom.
I only got in there in the 95th minute of the Monday game. The last game is Harry Wilson won a penalty, which got me there at the very end. So
Dwight McNeil letting you down there as well.
Like you'd expect a lot more from McNeil. So you've probably done worse than you would expect to there. Is there anyone that's got a
so I'm 12 points clear of not getting in. So 308 would have made you in the money.
Very low. You basically just need
£60.
5 starters and one decisive. I was going to say, but that's exactly what you got, wasn't it? 5 starters, 1 decisive, and it got you 60 quid. So how far off the next tier were you? Quite a lot, I'd imagine.
8 points to the next one.
That's why you make me play it now.
I mean, there's an initial investment, right? Isn't there? There's an initial investment because you probably everyone that's doing it has to buy at least 1 or 2 new cards.
Yeah.
But obviously, I haven't bought anyone that's groundbreaking. I've bought Everton players, so pretty much sweeping the floor of Dross. But how many more of these returns do I realistically need before I'm comfortable with what I've made for the tournament? If I did this 5 times out of 11, I'd probably be pretty happy with that. I just like playing, and this is the tenner I got in the yellow version. Obviously, Onana's Onana and Trippier are reasonably expensive. Haaland's an old season card, but yeah, good start.
Everton making Onana look like fucking Oliver Kahn before he turned into bloody Oliver Twist in Europa League.
I enjoyed watching that live view, mate.
Yeah, he was not very good last night, was he? He was not very good at all.
But honestly, what is he doing? Like, genuinely, like, you're a keeper, obviously. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, is he like that person who, back in the day where Graham Souness signed him and he actually wasn't a professional footballer and he was like, had just faked his CV and managed to get to the Premier League somehow? Like,
who was that? At Blackburn?
Was that Ali Dia?
Southampton signed Ali Dia, said he was George Weah's cousin.
That's right, yeah.
Brought him on.
And he actually was one of the worst footballers that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Like, Onana is always been known as a bit of an eccentric keeper, right? Like, when he was at Inter, he kind of likes to try and take people on if he's coming out of the box and whatever. But he wasn't this bad. Like, what the fuck is going on?
He makes every save look difficult.
Yeah.
Like, even the ones where there
you go, red or dead. Bloody disaster. Positional sense awful.
Yeah, he was even near post for the 3rd goal, which was like the least bad of the 3. Yeah, he gives you the heebie-jeebies because even ones where he's palming away, it looks like he's really putting in a lot of effort and he could go anywhere.
Got to be giving that other lad a go, I reckon, at some point, the Turkish guy.
Bayindir.
It's not very good, though.
Well, nor's Onana, mate.
Yeah. I was saying, Rick, they were linked to a Ramsdale today. It's like one car crashed to the next. It's ridiculous.
Linked to who?
Ramsdale. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, we do have a Premier League section coming up, so let's stop talking about the Premier League for now. Give the people something to hang on to. For anyone that is listening and not watching, you might not have noticed. Well, you won't be able to see these glorious upper lip creations we have going on right now.
Look at that.
This is Mo Rare Thursday Club. We've been raising a little bit of money for Movember. Last day today, so this is as bad as they're going to get. As you can see, I'm quite impressed with mine, but I am looking forward to getting rid of it as well.
And I think we're sitting at around £45 donated from us so far. Obviously, we've got to see how we get on this weekend because we're including that in the totals. But yeah, decent little bit of money raised for charity.
And we've got one last round of Everton versus the World and Moustache top tips to go today as well. Selling De Gea for that lag at the end of ETH. I wouldn't mind if De Gea actually popped up somewhere because I've been holding his limited for bloody ages now. Spent a lot of money on that during those big rises. And,
I like De Gea. Like, he was a good goalie. He was like, we had years and years of service out of him, and he made mistakes, but he was a good goalie.
Yeah. We sold someone that couldn't use their feet for someone that can't use their hands. Yeah. So tough.
Figure that one out.
But anyway, we got things to get through. We're already 10 minutes in and we've just gossiped like little children. So let's go through the actual Sorare gossip about what has happened on Sorare, and then we'll do Everton versus the World, Moustache picks. Want to do a bit about Asia and the MLS, Prem preview, and then we'll be out there. Sound good?
Ideal. Yeah. Talk to me. Because I have no idea what's been going on. I've been away from the Sorare bubble for a week or two.
Right. News-wise, I don't think there's been anything absolutely massive in the football side of things. They did deals, didn't they, on Monday in basketball and in football. So in football, they were doing discounted shirts. They were doing discounted level up items, discounted, the jersey drops. And on basketball side of things, they did Cyber Monday special, 50% off a purchase, basically, up to 40 quid in basketball on the auction market. So if you bid 40 quid for a player, you'd get £20 off in credits.
Back, so you spend the money,
no,
and get it back?
No, it just wouldn't count. It's counted as a credit, but you'll bid.
It's a very good deal. They couldn't put it in football, obviously, because there's too much money coming in. But I guess it's to sort of increase NBA's.
I wonder if anyone got any bargains, because was it made obvious when you were doing it?
It was at the top of the screen and it came straight up. I should have done it straight away. I went to do it on a Kevin Durant straight away, and I didn't pull the trigger. And then the inevitable happened, and everything went up so much that you basically weren't getting much of a saving at all, because you were paying nearly double the price anyway. But it's a cool way to stimulate the market, I guess, because people were paying attention. Deals
well,
were going
tried,
through.
So it worked.
We tried, and I had a good look at it. But what do you think about like deals and offers and throwing things into the market and things like that? Do you think they shouldn't mess around with things like that, or do you think it's a nice extra to mix things up?
All a bit of fun, isn't it? I think I tried to get one of the signed shirts. They sold out in about 3 milliseconds, so didn't get one of them. But I do like it, and it does give it a bit of a boost, doesn't it, in the auction footfall for NBA. I know there's been an announcement today for the NBA as well. And I know there was a few people unhappy, wasn't there, with how the NBA was sort of developing. But I saw a lot of people were quite happy with today's announcement. But yeah, I think if it's good for Sorare NBA, it's good for Sorare as a whole. Like, I don't do Sorare NBA, but if Sorare NBA is doing well, then that usually means there's happy customers across the whole of Sorare. It's good for the platform. So
yeah, I think I do like specials when they do special events and things, but NBA does seem to be suffering a bit at the moment, and they have released another announcement tonight. I don't really know, I haven't really read through it, but it looks like they're doing another in-season knockout tournament, £25,000 up for grabs, an extra in-season tournament level.
So why is it suffering now? Because I pay no attention to NBA, and especially people moaning about it. Why is it suffering?
There's a lot less prizes, rewards this year, so it's hard. People are feeling like it's harder to win. There's not been any more extra competitions really, so that reason to buy extra cards. And then they said they were implementing rivals collection bonuses, collections, all the stuff that we've had in football, but it's all been a really slow rollout. Right. I think they've sort of addressed why some of that's happened today and why it's so slow. But yeah, it's so
people get impatient then, basically, and then those that are patient will probably prosper, and then everyone will come back in and pay over the odds.
It's exactly that. It's exactly impatience. I think the problem is that the football part of Sorare is so far ahead, quite rightly, because it's been going a lot longer and it's got a lot more people doing it than NBA. And I think people in NBA are just jealous a little bit of how much extra stuff there is to do on the football side of things.
Also, I wonder how many came across from like Top Shot, where there was fuck all utility anyway, like and all the other basketball markets. Like you were just holding NFTs. I get it from the football lot, who, as in Football Sorare, then switch across and like compare the two. But those that only know the basketball, I'm surprised they're not happy with what they got.
If you sit like just reading this update now, it seems that Instant Buy is coming today. List or Play is coming. A Christmas Day special.
December to remember.
It's Christmas Day special. They're adding rare rewards to try and, but in the form of credits. So you win credits to spend on the auction market. So here's 25% off. You have to buy someone to get 25%
I'm not sure
off.
about that. I mean, what it does do is stops people just playing it to milk the game and take money out of it. But
Christmas Day
Does it
special, more competitions. They're doing like special weeklies again. So I think more competitions is good because it gives more people places to use their cards, which makes you want to have more cards to fill out all the teams. You do need more prizes, but it's sort of like the football side where they're trying to come up with things that aren't cards, aren't they? So this is credits.
Which is good because literally the main moan about the old model was playing with cards to win cards is not a sustainable model. Like because they're literally worth what the market pays them. It's not actually the introduction of anything else but cards is, in my opinion, is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I love the basketball. I just won $20 in that first in-season competition, and I've won some money in this football one that's just happened week one. I like these ideas. I like just getting currency back. You know, it's fine with me, and I've liked them. But yeah, I do think NBA is lagging behind a bit, which is a shame. But we won't spend too much time on that because I know you two don't play it, and I won't spend too much time on MLB because none of us play it anymore. I've sold up mine, but they've got some awards edition cards. These are really nice. I think the limited ones look really nice.
Good.
Love that.
Yeah, really cool. You know, I love a good card design, and those are really nice.
That's like the stitching of the ball, right? Up behind.
Is that the award at the bottom? I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, these are player awards, and they're really cool. So good work there. I'd love some. Anytime they release a special edition football card, I want to get one. I want to have at least one of them, and these are really nice. I just wanted to point them out. They stand out real well.
More importantly, do you want a beer?
I've still got one, thanks.
Right,
but
cool.
Shortly. And then on the football side of things, pitch notes. Not a lot happened, right? XP filters, page redesign. That's about it.
Yeah, I noticed they changed the titles of the tabs on the homepage, haven't they? It's now not play, it's lobby. It's not live, it's my lineups. It's all just slight different alterations of what they changed it to like 3 weeks ago. So yeah, nothing. There's all aesthetic changes this week, isn't there? There's been nothing major. The only thing I did see on Twitter was these special signed MLS cards. We had to write in a video. Was it write in a reason as to why you should win? And
I did it. I did it to Gaiesi.
Did you actually do one?
Yeah, of course I did.
I was tempted with a Joseph Martinez because I've had one for a long time. I thought maybe I could do one, but
what did he say then, Jess? What was your sales pitch?
Well, he was part of my original stack, wasn't he? Remember when I started at the MLS lot and I had my crew lot, but then I started the Orlando stack.
Yeah, I remember your Orlando stack.
And I had his rare card, which ended up going towards my. Remember, I sold up one of my sales, sold up and then put it towards pretty much all of it towards the house deposit.
Yeah.
So technically, Gaiesi has
bought your house.
Bought my house.
He's got a spare room in your house if you ever want it.
That. Yeah, or at least like a pillow.
I love it. Well, maybe that'll appeal to his, nature, and he'll give you the card. Who knows?
Yeah. So that's it really for news in Sorare this week. Wasn't a lot going on. Hopefully these Sorare NBA changes are positive because that's what I'm hoping for. But Rivals as well. I just wanted to say we had our first experience of going to the pub and playing Rivals on the weekend, didn't we?
We did.
Everyone's very hopeful that this platform will pull in the casuals and things like that. We went to the pub for the early game, then watched Bristol City, had the late games, and we actually were smashing out Rivals challenges against each other all day, weren't we? And it was actually worked really well.
I think I was 3-7 or something against you, as per the last few weeks. Unfortunately, I just keep accepting your offers of matches against teams I know you've got stacks of. I don't know why I keep doing it.
He owns all the bloody cards. I forget about it, and then I'm like, why has he got more points than me? He's got the same team. Oh, wait, he's got all the cards.
Yeah. Do you know one thing I think Rivals should do as well? When you accept a Rivals matchup, there's no way of unaccepting it before the game.
Yeah. It could be a problem down the line that it's tough when someone's got the cards and you haven't. You're at an immediate disadvantage, especially in a game where there's like such a set route to go down to fill out the cap. Like there's one standout midfielder, a standout striker. Like if one team's so favoured over the other one, if one of you has the cards, it's not like you can't pick all those players because you've got no chance. So that's the one thing. But it is fun. Red Hot Dead is a good addition to the game. If you're taking it not overly seriously, which I guess you shouldn't, because you've only got ELO to play for, really, haven't you? Or like bragging rights over friends, then it shouldn't be that deep, although it is to me. But I have 2 spare invites. If anyone wants an invite to Rivals, don't have them yet.
Yeah, do you get them each week?
You get 1 a week.
Yeah,
so drop me a message and I can sort you out.
What you ate.
Let's do, while we're here, a Moustache tip of the week to break up before I jump into Asia and MLS talk. Last week, it was just me versus you last week, Johnny, right?
Yep, that's right, I believe.
Last final week, so we're picking Moustache top tips for the weekend from Moustache players. Loser puts £1 in the charity pot. Last week, I picked Robert Zulj of Lask, who is currently playing Liverpool. Zoltan, before I came upstairs for the show. 3-0 Liverpool as it stands in the 71st minute. My boy scored at home to WSG Tyrrell and got 60 points at the weekend. Who was your player again?
Dreyer, Dreyer. And I know he scored as well. So this could be, if I've lost by 0.2, I'm going to be fuming.
Anders Dreyer was Johnny's pick, and he hit the 74 for Anderlecht at home to RWDM.
A late penalty it was.
Late penalty.
What a man.
Okay, mate. So you are the winner. I lose that one, which means we're on the final week now. All right, one more week, one more charity round of Moustache top tip of the weekend. Jesse, you going to play this one, or are you just going to carry on trying to buy Premier League players in the corner there?
I'm getting desperate in the corner. Yeah, I'm in.
Who is your pick for this weekend? The final round.
Thought long and hard about this one.
Yeah.
Approximately 4 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Leroy Sané.
Oh.
No, because that's my pick that's currently on the. That's already. Yes, he's right here.
Mate, it's on my screen.
You cannot have Leroy Sané.
Hang on. This is evidence. On my screen, there he is.
Okay, so is it me who decides who gets
Sané? On the bounty going on right now.
We are playing double or nothing. We're in for £2 on Leroy Sané.
Yeah.
Against your 1 pick. Here's me thinking on my feet. I keep picking random players that haven't done very well. So I'm going for a big name for my final pick. Jesse's coming along for the ride as well. We're going for Leroy Sané, who has actually got a nice little combo going on there.
It's a strong tash, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what is that below though? It's like a little
bit of fluff,
hanging basket of flowers almost.
Yeah. So Leroy Sané is our pick.
But do you know what I like about Sané? So this is why I went for him. He got rested. He came on. He had 20 odd minutes against Copenhagen the week, so he's going to be fresh. He's on fire. Well, properly on fire this season. Him and Kane are like telepathic at the minute. And as long as Kane's playing, I'm confident. And Sané obviously will be starting. I'm confident Sané's going to hit 60 pluses. So for me, he's like an easy pick.
They went quite strong yesterday, didn't they? In their 0-0 draw with Copenhagen. Bayern. They are the best team.
Wise, they can. Rotate.
Sané was obviously rested, but they are the best matchup of the whole weekend. So he's an extremely strong pick. Bayern are extremely strong play this weekend. So yeah.
Great. I'm really happy to be taking on a complete stud of Sorare football. Twice. That's great. So I'm entering this gunfight bringing a knife with me, a pen knife, in Gary Magny.
Yes.
So that's great. So I'll probably be donating to the pot this week. But he plays for Eupen, as KAS Eupen, I think it's pronounced. They're playing against Kortrijk, or I don't know how you say it, but Kortrijk are bottom of the league. Eupen aren't very good either. I think they're like 3rd or 4th bottom. But he's a pretty decent scorer. He's got some good scores in his last few games. I think he might take penalties for them as well. So we'll see. He's going up against Bayern bloody Munich, though. So we'll see how that goes. But that's my pick, Gary Magny. And in terms of his moustache, I mean, that's a pretty solid little sort of pencil moustache he's got there with a very strong, thick goatee. But yeah, pretty strong. I like him. I'm also owners limited, so I'll be playing him in one of my teams. So I'll be double cheering for him.
I've never heard of him. It's not. I don't know. We've been playing so long. It's not often there's a player you've actually never heard of. Never ever heard of Gary Mack.
Yeah, I don't think there's many Eupen players worth owning, to be honest with you. So that's probably why you've not heard of him. But
We've had some random picks, but then last time Jess was here, he picked Ousmane Dembele against Gibraltar against us. So he sort of.
And what happened?
You won.
Yeah,
you won. Yeah.
So
how you do it.
I want to finish with the Sane pick. All right, that was the Moustache top tip of the weekend. We've got 4 things left. The end of Asia in the MLS, weekly Everton versus the World, the Prem preview, and a look at our Prem weekly teams. Which one would you like to do next, John? I'm going to give you the pick.
Well, I think we should probably talk about the MLS and Asia ending. I mean, you've got the MLS. I think they're the divisional finals before the
Final 4, yeah.
Yeah, so some big games this weekend. Obviously, you got Cincinnati, Columbus, which is a local rivalry as well, I understand.
Mm-hmm. And in Houston still there.
Yeah, and LAFC Houston. And I've got a few players left from quite a few from all 4 of those teams actually. So I'm managing to put out an America's Champ America team. But yeah, no, it's always sad when the MLS ends, isn't it? Because I love the MLS. I know you love the MLS as well, you boys.
I would say it's my favourite league on Sorare. I think second division is the best value for money and the best value for your cards and play. MLS is nuts and can be quite hard to judge, but it's bloody fun. It is my first league, also, my favourite league.
I love the times the games are on. They're perfect, but just sitting in bed at 11 or midnight or whatever, and watching a few little bits of football before you go to sleep.
That's exactly why I like it. It's friendly to people that struggle to watch football during the day normally.
Because Asia's just completely impossible, isn't it? It's 5 a.m. It's just not feasible.
See, I don't catch the MLS because I go to bed at a regular hour, and I don't have kids to wake me up in the middle of the night. Yeah. But I love waking up Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, and your phone, you can see you've got 4 Sorare notifications, and you're like, right, gonna scroll through, see what's happened. Then it all goes to shit. Jackson Newell, Prince of the MLS, yeah. But yeah, I love the MLS. 4 teams left. Who do you think is going to win? So it's Houston, LAFC.
Crew, mate. Got to stick with the crew. Got to stick with the crew. I think Cincinnati's a threat, but I'd stick with the crew.
Do you know? I think Houston might have a random chance of winning. I would normally say LAFC, but LAFC won last year, obviously, and I just feel like they're probably not going to win again. Columbus Crew, if they still had Zellaran, would probably win. But
mate, you still blowing on about that.
Come on.
I don't know. I think any of them can win. They're all good teams, but
I think since you're going to struggle, so they're missing Matt Miazga still, and their DM, I forget how to say his name. Ndogbo.
Say it
again, mate.
Ndog.
No, say it again.
I was trying to make a valid point, I knew something about the team. Their DM, I forget what his name is.
Which one?
Ndogbo.
Is that it?
I don't fucking know. It doesn't sound right, does it?
No.
I can't imagine his name's Ndogbo.
Well, I panicked.
Sounds like do you remember Bridget Jones, the old Gotcha?
I actually have no idea what that is. No.
Yeah,
okay. They got him in last season. I actually had his super rare, just sold it from a Turkish club, and then he went and played for Cincy.
Who?
I actually remember you telling me about this guy, yes.
Missing. So I think maybe they're a little light. So I'm going to go for the Crew to beat Cincy. I want Houston's my only super rare goalie, and Steve Clark. So I'm hanging on for him to try and win me.
Is he retiring after this year?
I don't think so, no.
Isn't he?
Even Brad Gutan's got a new one. So I just got a feeling LAFC might do it, though.
They're strong, aren't they? Very strong.
I think I might go for an LAFC Crew final with an LAFC repeat victory. I'd like the Dynamo to do it.
You don't like LAFC.
Yeah, they're a bit like the sort of BMW drivers of the MLS, aren't they? A little bit, I feel. Yeah. I'd love to see Columbus Crew win. But to be honest, I'd like to see Columbus Crew or Cincinnati win. But
yeah, I mean, I've still got quite a good limited team. Because I've got Bouanga and Acosta, so. That forms a pretty solid start to any team.
What will be interesting is if Cincy win, it's pretty much written, isn't it? Costa's going to be gone.
Well, no,
surely his last chance to go to Europe.
He's signed another contract. He's staying there.
That doesn't mean anything. That's money.
I'm pretty sure he's definitely.
If Lucho wins, surely he goes.
I saw some rumours. I saw some Boanga rumours today as well about going back to France to Marseille or something. But someone from LAFC came out and was quoted saying he's not going anywhere. He's black and gold next year.
Boanga feels a bit more like a couple of years LAFC and then Saudi.
He's still young. I think he's 27, which is he kind of went to LA at his peak.
He's always so cheap at Saint Etienne, his card.
Yeah.
And every week, he's like one of those players that just comes up on the filter as an option every week for being like cheap and having a game. And you were like, I owned him at one point.
He's a squad player, wasn't he, really?
Yeah.
Probably one of my best ever cards, I reckon, holding him since he's probably I probably had him for 2.5 years. Is rare. He's been fucking great. Yeah. And then we got Asia's ending this weekend as well, I think.
Well, J League's last matchups, so notoriously hard to pick a settled, know who's going to play anyway, let alone when it's the last game of the season. So yeah, would be a real struggle. I do love the J League, but it's very hard to predict or find that information you need, which probably puts it off being like a go-to league for me on Sorare because
we both got stung, didn't we, by Lucas Fernandez last week? He cost you a prize, he cost me a prize, random DMP. I think we got Vissel Kobe have already won the league, right? So
yeah,
I don't know what the relegation's looking like, but
how's our boy Fook doing? I haven't followed him recently.
Fukimori's been back in the team recently. Yeah, predicted to start this weekend as well. Last time I checked, I have liked what I've had this year of where I bought the Consadole stack and I bought the San Jose stack. That was quite fun for the MLS and the J League, just having one team to fully focus on. It's really powerful. I won quite a few things my San Jose stack because they were plus 15% every.
Did you notice that then? So the collection bonus made a difference.
Made a massive difference to yank me from nothing to a low tier 5 into the tier 4s, tier 3s sometimes. I was getting plus 15% on every card. And San Jose didn't exactly have a good season. Same with Consadole. Probably won me a bit less. So I'm thinking, because they're quite hard to predict, next season I might go down that route again of picking one team and just buying a stack of them.
Don't mind me, I'm going to get naked.
Okay, you carry on. So yeah, do you think there are leagues that you will look to go into next season? If so, are you a type of person that buys ahead of time, like now, as soon as their season's ending? I know me, I always say that that's a good idea, and then I will just buy them just before their season starts for inflated prices anyway.
You do it the night before.
But if I'm going to go for this new route of buying a stack, then I have to wait for new season cards anyway, so it sort of validates my
you were right all along.
Purchasing. Yeah.
It takes very strong willpower to buy players that you've got no utility for 6 months or 5 months, whatever it is.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, I would do that, but I don't have the ETH to be chucking around on players I can't use for months at the moment. I was on a little cheeky look at some of the players from the J2 League promoted teams and the teams that are in the playoffs. Because there's some decent value cards in there. I saw there was the team that finished first in J2 League, so they'll be up obviously in the J League next year. I think their main striker was 75 quid rare, which is quite cheap. I mean, they could struggle massively in the J League though, so that's the risk. So I was having a little gander, but I mean, what do we think about Korea as well next year? Are they going to do the scoring properly? The Korea's card prices have completely fallen out of their ass. So
I wouldn't go anywhere near it, mate. Well, expect unless you got. To be fair, for someone like Rick, for example, where I've got a stacked gallery, so I can make punts, then maybe you would, unless you're aiming for something else. Which you just talked about making a stack, so maybe that would be a distraction. That's the only way I would do it, because you can make good money, can't you? If you take the gamble and are patient, but otherwise, there's no point in locking up your assets in something you're not going to use or potentially can be capped versus everything else. I think it's stupid personally and bloody boring, but each their own.
I think
if you can afford to do it and have stuff that you can use until that time, then fine, right? But if you don't have much ETH and whatever. Don't do that.
I think the Korea thing's sort of settled down, hasn't it? I haven't noticed many like major scoring problems recently. Obviously, if you're at the end, if they play on like the Friday or something, they're not getting their AA. But we all sort of know that now. It's been going on a while. I like something like the Korea cards to take a punt. Like my super rares are pretty bad, low level super rares. Something like getting a better Korea player, like for a K-League player, slightly cheaper because they've got that risk element. I know that like they've got that risk element, but it allows me to get like a slightly higher caliber scorer because they've got a risk attached. Whereas like I wouldn't be able to get a player that can put out those scores from Champ Europe. So I like that.
That does make sense. I think one thing that is annoying though with Korea in particular is that even if they do get scored right before the end of the game week, it's annoying that when the game's going on, you can't see their live AA. That's part of the fun of Sorare is seeing what you're scoring. Like that's part of the thrill you get from like seeing your scores go up and down. Like the fact it's just fucking 35 and then like 3 days later it goes to 70 or 22 or whatever. It's just not as fun. So they 100% need to sort that out for Korea. I don't know what's going on with the Opta stats over in Korea, but they need to sort it out big time.
Yeah, it is an issue, but yeah, I just think the whole of the Asia region, I'm so prone to getting a random DMP that you knew absolutely nothing about, that you didn't even know was a risk, and it seems to have killed me so much over the last 2 months. It's really put me off.
I've got a good idea actually. Maybe
we start scoring it.
Maybe they should stop scoring Korea and score Saudi instead. I like that. I like that a lot.
Don't like that.
I think Saudi added into the Asia region would be a good thing.
Saudi's coming, isn't it?
Yeah, I keep getting, because there's quite a lot of these Asian Champions League games at the moment. It's just like my Asian teams, like some 4 random fucking Asian players and Milinkovic Savic, like in there, or who else do I get to put in? Fashion Sakala. It's quite nice having these little cheeky Asian players, but I'd love Saudi to get covered. I may have mentioned it a few times on the show.
Anyway, top players from MLS and Asia this season. Who's your star? And then we can move on.
It's got to be Acosta, isn't it? I mean, he got MVP, so it's not that much of a wild pick, but yeah, Acosta. I've got his rare. He was an absolute beast still the whole year. I think Cincinnati finished top of the division, didn't they? In regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Acosta for me.
I'm going to go Steve Clark because Houston did really well, and Steve Clark put in some solid scores and single-handedly won me a few Cap 240 thresholds. Notable mentions, obviously, to Prince of the MLS, Jackson Ewell, and the King of J-League, Fukimori, although his season was pretty bad, but I will always rep him, whatever. But the fullback, Taneko, at Constable as well, scored really well. His res was really good for me as well.
Nice.
Anything from you?
Oh yeah, my J-League MVP would be Meo Hosoya. Forgot to mention my Japanese one, but he plays for what's the name of their team now? The yellow team.
The yellow team.
Yeah.
Kashiwa Rezol.
That's it, Kashiwa Rezol. Very good young player. Got called up to the Japanese national team for the last internationals and scored his first goal and coming on as a late sub. So I think he's touted to be one of the next big things in Japan, and he did well for Kashiwa this year and for my Sorare teams. So he's my MVP.
Favorite MLS or J-League player of the year?
So the ones I personally used were more towards my Cap 240. So I had like a mix mash of like European and American. So I had Jackson Ewell at one point, and who else was it? There's a couple of midfielders like Keaton Parks as well. Just were really good at grinding out the scores. Like almost him and Ewell, for example, just guaranteed to hit you like 45 to 65 every week. Yeah. So it was like it almost like made it easy to pick. That one's done. I've got 4 places to pick each week. So they were great. My MVP would be Chucho. Actually, would he be? Potentially. Chucho or Luke. I'm going away from Lucha because Lucha is the easy option. Or, you could pick anyone in St. Louis as well. Like, for a first season, they absolutely smashed it.
They did. It fell apart at the playoffs.
Yeah. Like because normally new franchises get completely dipped for at least a season, if not 3. So yeah, for me, I'd go St. Louis as a team. Lucho is probably the best player, and it was just nice to see Chucho actually last a season without a serious injury. Like he scored 20 goals, which he's proper next season. If he stays injury free again, that's 30 in my head. He's brilliant.
I think he'll go back to Europe at some point. Like I always thought he was. Yeah, when he played for Watford, I thought he was really good. One of their best players in the season they got relegated.
And in Spain, smashed it in Spain.
Yeah, and then randomly joined Columbus Crew. It was like the most random signing ever. So fair dues to Columbus Crew because that was a hell of a signing for him. But
I think it's sad we can't pick some of these up. But I saw like Cade Cowell, really promising young striker, really cheap his old season card. But this new Premier League, the way things are going on the NBA and the football side of things, where you need new season cards to enter these new tournaments, just makes me kind of reluctant to spend money on old season cards like before a season.
I agree.
Thinking like the new MLS release tournament need 4 new cards to enter, and I'm like, cool, I picked up small ones. You can still use them obviously in normal competitions, but yeah, I'm just a bit reluctant to dive in there.
As someone who picked up 25 Premier League players, and in anticipation this season I'd have an opportunity to enter a Premier League tournament, I was right, but then I couldn't play them, and I've been really pissed off about it. And I refused to spend the money on the extras, and then ended up just selling the new cards that I had, just because, I was salty about it. So
a bit annoying, to be fair.
Yeah. But I think you're 100% accurate with your assessment. I think that will happen, and that has put me off buying early into the MLS as well.
There you go. Ryan
Hollingshead, that's a great shout.
Yeah, great shout.
In fact, I had him. He was one of the few MLS cards I was using as well, and you get him for about under 30 quid. I think I paid for him.
What I want to know, because every LAFC game I watch, is he a right back or is he a centre forward?
I know. Yeah,
he is always in the 6-yard box at any point. He's got a knack for goal. He has a really good moustache as well.
He's like Grezzel's the same as well. I love Grezzel. Plays exactly the same way.
He's not getting in the team now for Crew. He's
mad, isn't it? Yeah, he's so good.
But yeah, he was a really good player. Anyway, let's end the discussion now on MLS and J League because we're motoring over 40 minutes.
I love the MLS.
I know, I love the MLS, and Jay, it's just sad it's ending, but we are motoring on. Let's do Red or Dead's J1 League shout. The Kojima Albarex goalkeeper. Said that really carefully after my Cincinnati DM pronunciation murdering. Let's go to the Premier League preview because we've got week 2 of the Premier League weekly competition. So let's have a little talk about each of the games we've got this weekend. No Friday night game. So we start on Saturday with Arsenal v Wolves. Arsenal off European duty where they sort of cruised home. So you shouldn't think fatigue or battle weariness will be much of a problem. Raya was back. Ramsdale played last week. Raya got midweek. Presume that Raya comes back in?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Well, Ramsdale only played because Raya couldn't play last week, right? Because it was against Brentford. So, Raya will come back in my opinion. But I think did they make it? They made quite a few subs at sort of half time and early in the second half, didn't they? Because they were 5-0 up at half time. So, I doubt there'll be a huge amount of rotation for the league game, just purely because they could rotate quite early on in the European game.
Do you think Neto's not back yet? Is he? He was the only.
I think he's still injured. It was a pretty bad hamstring injury, I think, from what I remember. Yeah,
Cunha and Hee-Chan have been good up front.
I really like watching Wolves. I know that they're a weird team whereby they're like. They seem to lose and they're not that great, but equally each time you watch them, you think they're actually a really good team to watch. Attacking wise, really threatening.
I'm with you there. And I like Gary O'Neill. I feel like he was kind of unjustly sacked at Bournemouth and he's doing a good job at Wolves. But one thing worth noting with Wolves as well, how many awful decisions have they had from VAR? I swear like every game I hear Gary O'Neill saying it's a fucking joke.
His post-match interview, we listened to it.
And I saw his literal soul leave his body when that Fulham penalty was I think it probably was a penalty, maybe, but it wasn't given. And in my opinion, like they do in cricket, if it's not clear and obvious error, don't change the on-field decision. It wasn't given as a penalty, so it's not a penalty.
I can't take VAR anymore. When it came in, I was like, we need technology. We need things of this. This season has been truly awful for VAR decisions. It's
so bad.
The handball there's so many penalties.
That Newcastle one against PSG. What the fuck was that decision about? That's literally cost them millions of pounds. I mean, I love it because it's funny watching Newcastle fans moan, but that's cost them because they're not going to get through the Champions League groups now, are they?
Look at the Everton fans saying, telling other clubs off.
Imagine my surprise.
With all their flags and their little placards. Oh, corruption. We broke the rules. I can't believe we lost 10 points for breaking the rules. Anyway.
We know we broke the rules, but 10 points? Fucking serious?
You'll be fine.
Yeah, so VAR is destroying everything, especially handball and especially the length of time it's taking. But do we give any Wolves any chance here? There's a AA matchup for a Bellegarde in the middle here, and the strikers are both B. So according to Sorare data...
Why is that a AA?
Well, opposition...
what is the suggestion there? That Bellegarde will have a field day against Gabriel and...
Declan Rice.
Or what? Yeah.
Well, I guess it's based on his form. Other CMs playing against Arsenal, but yeah, they're away. When I look at this lineup, though, Odegaard, Rice, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli.
All I do know is that Max Kilman is going to get an error led to goal and concede a penalty.
And then in anger, I'm going to sell his card for a 30% loss.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going for a 2-1 Arsenal win.
Yeah. 3-1, I reckon, Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal, me as well.
Then we've got the plum tie for everyone's aim on the winter comp, whoever Luton are playing this week.
Unless you're Palace.
Or Everton. This week it is Brentford, but Luton are away, which, home seems to be like their wow factor, their bit of chance.
Unless you're against Everton and they won away. But...
Yeah. Brentford have obviously got the big plays. Mbeumo, Visa, Norgard, all seem to be really good plays. Pinnock at the back scores really well. This is a AAA matchup for him. Flecken, you'd hope for a clean sheet if you were stacking them. So, lots of positives if you're running Brentford cards this weekend. Give Luton any chance?
I mean, they're fresh off a win, right? So, they're going to be, morale's going to be high, you'd imagine. But Brentford will probably be too strong for him. I'm starting Neil Mulpay in one of my teams this week. I've managed to squeeze him into my Cat 220 team along with a common Jude Bellingham, which I feel is quite impressive to have Bellingham and Mulpay in the same team. But I think that's nothing but a Brentford win, if you ask me.
I'll be starting a rare Visa in my main weekly Prem competition. What's it called? The winter comp, isn't it?
Yeah,
I keep saying main winter comp rare team. I like that you're using this time to research all your players and set your teams and drink beers in the corner.
I'm having a great time
while we do the podcast. I like the multitasking. I think Brentford. I think it could be a draw.
I'm draw, mate. I'm 2-2. I feel like there's going to be goals, and I feel like
Desmond.
Brentford play football. And Luton bully, and I think it's just going to be a bit of chaos, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm hoping for a decisive from my Brentford attacking options, but I'm going to go for a draw overall. Once again, I wouldn't really be touching anything on the Luton side. But
2-0 for me, 2-0 to Brentford. And also, I've now got to the point again, which I've been at the last 2 years with Everton, where I'm cheering for all the other shit teams to do shit every week. So, fingers crossed, Luton lose.
I'm noticing now, I'm quite a fan of this. Play Sharp are now putting 100% on players rather than faffing around with 95 or 90. There was a point in time where I wasn't seeing 100% on anything, and now most seem to have it.
We're not allowed. We're not allowed to put 100% on Play Sharp. We got told.
This isn't Play Sharp, mate. It's Sorare data. You've been focusing on your laptop too much. This is player picks on Sorare data. So the player projections, where you can go and project
Oh,
who's going to
so
start.
100% are saying they're going to start.
Yeah. So, for example, Hamer, 100% of people have picked the Sheffield United
I think
team.
this is
so
better than Play Sharper then, surely.
I always use this
Yeah.
In the game week centre.
Especially the Everton games, right?
Yeah, because I don't trust the Play Sharper Everton expert.
Hey, mate, I'm third. I'm third out of 20 experts this year. And
Who's
also,
playing right back?
wow, this is the
You can get the percentage down the side of how likely they are to play.
big question. This is a big question.
31 predictions. 30 said he'll start. 1 said he might be a sub. So there you go.
Interesting.
Burnley, Sheffield United, match 3. 20th versus 18th.
That is a grim game, isn't it? That is. You're not
grim game. I reckon it'll have shitloads of goals. I've got they're both going to be playing end to end, aren't they? Because they're both going to want to win. In my head, it's telling me Burnley should win this game. Burnley are a better team than Sheffield United, but Burnley are playing just not getting any results. Even when they dominate games, they're losing. I just got a feeling Sheffield United might win.
I got a feeling Sheffield United might win as well.
Yeah. 2-1 maybe. I reckon.
Everyone keeps saying that Burnley are the ones that could stay up out of the promoted teams and that they look good and stuff, but they are bottom. They aren't getting the results. Yeah,
they're below a team that's been deducted 10 points. That's embarrassing after only playing 10 or 11 games or however many we played.
I've got a couple of plays in this. I've got a Josh Brownhill rare new season card which I bought to fill out a team for the winter comp, and I've got an Austin Trusty I've held since basically the start of the game when he's in the MLS. I'm not really confident of the result. I wouldn't be thrilled to be rolling out these players, but if you own them, this is the week to play them on either side. I think this is the chance for them to put up a good score on either side. Hamer's probably a good pick. He's pretty decent. Looks to be a good matchup for him. Amdouni,
he's the boy.
Swiss wonder kid.
He's not really being made the most of by company, so I'm not.
Vanderberger as well.
I actually disagree with both you boys on this one, though. I think this game's going to be a bag of shit. And last on match of the day, 0-0. I would steer well clear unless you want some defenders in there. Bayer's actually quite a good shout from
Burnley.
I think there's absolutely no chance in hell that it's 0-0. Burnley have conceded 30 goals this season.
Yeah, but I just feel because they're two shit teams. I feel like that. You get those games where they're edgy and they both go super tight, and it ends up just cancelling each other out as a shitty 0-0.
Yeah, I would say 0-0 or 1-1. I wouldn't be too worried about Ollie McBurney putting a goal fest on our telly.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
But I mean, if you own these cards, this is the week to roll them out, right? It's a good opportunity for cheap filler or cheap entry cards, especially into the winter comp or the Premier League specialist. I prioritised the Premier League specialist last weekend, and I won a tier 3, which is Brennan Johnson. I mean, he's not a great matchup from this weekend away to Man City, but he is a card I can use in the next.
Brennan Johnson.
The following 9 game weeks. So yeah, Premier League specialist is a good one to aim for, I think.
And Wales are still in the playoffs.
Wales is still in the playoffs as well.
He didn't randomly only he was benched in the last Wales game. And they started some other fucking random ass person who doesn't even play in the Premier League. But
right. Speaking of Dross versus Dross, we move on to Nottingham Forest versus Everton.
Ooh.
A little bit of a rivalry in our Brispool private WhatsApp chat. Johnny versus Will. What are we thinking here? Forest have started to pick up a little bit, lost their main striker, obviously. Chris Wood isn't quite the same as the inform Owoniyi. Man, I can't pronounce players' names. Owoniyi wasn't far off. Maybe if I just didn't say it slowly and weirdly, it would be okay.
I'm slightly worried because this week I got my Premier League jersey from winning that, wherever I came, top 50 in the Premier League comp a couple of months ago, and I got Nottingham Forest. And
Nottingham Forest jersey, there it is.
And they're playing Nottingham Forest this weekend, so I've got a horrible feeling. One thing I would say about, you just mentioned Chris Wood, there's strong rumours that what's his name will get the start for them. Origi.
I didn't even realise he was there. Christ.
Yeah, he's on loan from AC Milan. I think they're not happy with how Chris Wood played last week. And
Bag of
Origi,
shit and went to Bristol City on loan and couldn't even play.
I think Origi's got 50 to 60 goals in his career probably, and I reckon around 70 to 80 of those goals have been against Everton. He fucking loves scoring against Everton, so I'm sure he'll play. I'm sure he'll score. Yeah.
As we've got the Play Sharper Everton expert with us here, this is the predicted lineup according to.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Play Sharper.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Straight out.
Yeah, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. So the percentages on the left there, is that saying that 100? What is that 100% saying?
That means 100% of people have picked that person to start.
Okay, well, Calvert-Lewin's currently got a knock, so he might not even play. And Ashley Young, I'd say Ashley Young is very likely to be finally dropped, especially as Coleman's now back in the mix as well as Patterson. It's a tough one. I've gone 40, 30, 30, Patterson, Coleman, Young, so I'm not exactly sure myself. But
I mean, the one thing you do get from Everton is, in general, is pretty reliable picks, aren't they? You're pretty settled because you only have a certain amount of crap you can roll out. So
we don't have a huge squad, to be fair. Like, I'm lucky. Like, if I was predicting Man City or Arsenal, I'd be struggling.
And it's kind of weird that you've performed so badly for so many seasons now, but you continue to have like some decent scorers in that team.
Like Tark.
Dwight McNeil's due a big one as well, because he's been pretty poor actually the last 6 weeks, isn't he? I think we all own a Dwight McNeil. Was hoping he'd replicate his last season's heroics, but I think he started the season injured. He's looking good in the games, but just not quite getting that decisive or whatever. But I mean, one other thing I'd say is that Everton actually are a lot stronger away from home than at home at the moment. Forest are also stronger away from home than at home. So it may suit us this game. We've got a James Garner revenge game against Nottingham Forest. Obviously, he spent a couple of seasons alone at Forest from Man United. Did really well there. We dominated Forest last season away and somehow drew 2-2. So we got a good chance. I'll take a draw. I think it'll probably be a 2-2, to be honest with you. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I would go Desmond as well.
John, I got a question.
Yes.
Idrissa Gueye, why is he playing? Is he? I'm looking at him right now. You can pick him Idrissa Gueye for.
Can you call him Idrissa Gueye, please? Because Idrissa Gueye is not his name.
Yeah, it is.
Idrissa Gueye.
He's 18 quid. That's outrageous. He's starting for Everton. I know they're a bag of shit, but 18 quid.
Jesse,
I bought his rare for £8 last week.
Did you? £8.
One thing I would say to you, Jesse, and I'm not sure if I've mentioned this to you before, but stop buying Everton players.
Stop it.
So they're so
Stop
cheap.
doing it. You have a problem. You need to go and see somebody.
They're so cheap.
Once Anana's back, he's not gonna.
Everton supporters anonymous. So I thought Anana might come, and when Anana's fit, Anana's going to play instead of Idrissa Gueye. Anana keeps like maybe being fit and then not being fit. So Idrissa Gueye keeps has played the last couple of games. Idrissa Gueye was fucking awful against Man United. Awful.
He's awful anyway. In general, he's
not awful.
Good. He was good pre PSG, but he's crap now.
He's not the same. Look, I'm not going to lie. He's not the same Idrissa Gueye that we had before, but he has come back into a team that is a shit team. So he's kind of like trying to do too much. I think he ends up fouling most of the game, which is fucking annoying. I thought Anana would be okay, but Dyche's press conference today, he said that he literally was quoted saying, "I don't think Anana's going to be back fit for the game." So if Anana's not playing, it's likely to be Idrissa Gueye. The only other thing I could see happening would be Dan Juma coming in and maybe Decore dropping back into a bit more of a central role. Because
Dyche also didn't think you'd lose 10 points, but that happened. So,
yeah, good one, mate.
Right, let's move on. We're nearly at the hour mark.
Now we're in Everton bubble again.
We've still got we're not even at the Everton section of the podcast yet. Newcastle, Man United. Newcastle destroyed Chelsea last week. Were unlucky to draw with PSG due to another ridiculous VAR decision. United, had a walkover against a poor Everton team, and were involved in a bit of a thriller yesterday that involved basically no defence and an appalling goalkeeping display.
Best game of the year. So bloody good to watch.
It was very good to watch. So both have had a bit of midweek. Newcastle struggling on terms of injuries. What do we think this will be? This prediction has something called a Miley playing in midfield for Newcastle. Until right now, I've never heard of that player in my life.
He's a good player. He got an assist last week for Alexander Isak. He's a youth player for them. But he's only playing because they've got about 100 people injured. But
yeah.
And it seems to be like on vogue right now to just play an 18-year-old local lad in your team.
I mean, it is good. I mean, when Everton play a young lad, I'm like, oh, come on, son, he's going to be the next Pele. But
who's bloody good in their team, who's young at the minute, is Livramento. Now he's fit again. He looks proper, really good fullback. He looked great at Saints, didn't he? And even Chelsea at one point at the start.
He looked really good at Saints. I think he got a really bad. Did he tear his ACL or do his Achilles or something?
Yeah, so serious injury.
He's an injury. I think Chelsea it's going to be one of those ones, I think, where Chelsea will buy him back for like 40 million in like a couple of years, maybe. I don't know.
When he's crap at the end of his career.
Yeah.
I was going to pick him out as well. I think he's looked really good. I think Newcastle win this fairly comfortably. I hate saying it.
I'm not even trying to troll you now. I just think Newcastle.
They're strong.
You know, they dismantled Chelsea, and Newcastle had a reasonably weaker team than they would normally. I thought Chelsea might get something last weekend, and Newcastle just annihilated them. And United are really bad. But I feel like United are that annoying type of team. They'll go and fucking win this game, won't they? Somehow. But no, I think it'll be a Newcastle win.
Trippier centre back, share at right back. Has that been happening, or they just?
I think that's just
an error, isn't it?
Yeah, good.
I think United are quite weak with their injuries. The midfield just doesn't look strong enough. No Mount, no Casemiro, no Eriksen. Amrabat's not really lived up to it since he's come. Højlund's not taken off, which means we keep bringing Martial on, who is the worst striker in the Premier League.
Unless against Everton.
I think I could see like a 3-1 Newcastle here.
Should we just pause here as well, as just to slightly talk about the ridiculous Garnacho goal against Everton? You know, I'm obviously a massive Everton fan, but I think even I can appreciate that was an absolute joke goal. Jesse, I think you just arrived to my house to watch the game.
You pulled up on your drive and went wild and walked in your room and saw the highlight.
It was mental.
Brilliant.
It was.
You weren't even angry. You were just impressed.
I was just like, "What the fuck has just happened?" Like, he's just scored an overhead worldie from like the edge of the box. Like, he's really not done anything like that yet. Is he's kind of promised showed promises of stuff happening for him, and you're always calling him Wonder Boy or whatever you call him, Star Boy.
Star Boy.
that was just fucking insane, wasn't it?
Look what you got! Oh, I'm a Star Boy.
When your luck's against you, which it seems like it fucking is all the time for Everton at the moment, there's bloody the best goal of the century has scored against us.
I sold his rare new season card on Friday before deadline. So I went, don't think he'll play. I don't think he'll play. I don't think he'll do anything. Let's cash out the profit now. And then he scored an unbelievable overhead kick. I was like, well,
crazy.
Fuck's so rare. We move on to Sunday's games. Let's rattle through these. We start with Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Anything stand out for you here?
Just think Aston Villa will win. They're a very good team, aren't they, at the moment? I know they've played Europa tonight, but they've got quite a strong squad, so they're able to rotate quite well for the league. Obviously beat Tottenham last week, didn't they, away from home? Very good result. I watched probably about an hour of it, and they looked really good. Can't see anything but a Villa win, really. And I do think Bournemouth manager might get sacked soon. I think he's going to be the first one to go.
I actually have a blinding loyalty to Bournemouth because they have 3 ex-Bristol City players in Semenyo, Kelly and Scott when he's fit. And I have the rare goalie in Neto, so he's kind of like been an important piece to me as well. So I have like this weird like love for Bournemouth where I want them to do well. So I constantly think Bournemouth will get a result each weekend. It's kind of blinding me here. I think there might be a score draw, but Villa is so good recently and so lethal going forward.
Crazy
I'm probably completely wrong.
No, I'm with you, mate. I'm going 1-1. I think Villa will get. I know you said they got a deep squad, which I agree with John, but I still think midweek game, Bournemouth need it. I think it's gonna be a 1-1. Is that Bournemouth? It's quite a tight spot.
I think it could be a heavy Villa win. I'm going to go for 4-1.
Wow.
Right, John. For a pound in the charity pot, me and Jesse get Bournemouth in the draw. You get Villa.
Bournemouth and the draw, and you okay? Fine.
If you're going for a heavy 4-1,
for a heavy win.
Are you actually going to put the money in the pot though?
Yeah,
of course we are.
£1 per person.
No worries. Yeah, I'm in.
High five.
In for
okay. Yeah, I think we're banking on the midweek hangover for Villa. There is our only hope. We move on to Chelsea-Brighton. Chelsea were looking really good, actually. A lot of people were starting to praise them, say they were coming on, and then they got absolutely annihilated by Newcastle. Brighton, obviously, everyone always hypes them up, but they've had midweek as well. Away from home, bit of injury, messing about with their team. What are we going for here?
It's a lot of crossovers of players, isn't there? You got how many? 2 or 3 ex-Brighton play for Chelsea now. You've got a couple of ex-Chelsea play for Brighton. Yeah, both. You know, Brighton are going to be a bit of a hangover, aren't they, from going to Greece? Like you say, they've got a lot of injuries at the moment, so they haven't been able to do as much rotation as they probably would have liked to have done. Chelsea were looking good, as you just said, before getting dicked by Newcastle. Reece James got sent off, obviously, so he can't play in this game. So I think Gusto will come in. Yeah, I think Chelsea will win personally, but it'll be tight. Maybe a 2-1 Chelsea for me.
I'm on Chelsea as well, mate. I think it'll be. I'd be betting on both teams to score, but I can see Chelsea winning this probably. I think fairly comfortably, probably a 3-1 this one.
Yeah.
If you look at the scores, that's an A for the holding midfielders at Chelsea, A's and double A's for their attacking players. So Sorare Data is predicting this is a green light for Chelsea attacking players. I do kind of like Chelsea because they seem to be on that up and coming young. It's like the football manager mindset, isn't it? Like, let's buy all the young players and wait for them to get good. Kind of confused how they've spent all that money and ended up with Robert Sanchez in goal.
It looks weird on paper, doesn't it?
But yeah, I will go for Chelsea to edge it 2-1 as well. I'd like to get some Chelsea attacking assets in if I had them. Bin Dippers v Fulham. Liverpool playing tonight. Last we saw, they were cruising against Lask. Had made a few changes as well to rest a few people. Some really good-looking matchups here for Trent, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Salah. All looks good on paper for Liverpool. Fulham have been, less than exciting this season. Can you see anything but a comfortable Liverpool win? Maybe
Fulham 5-0 for me.
Yes, we would like. I would love to
Alex
see
Iwobi with all 5.
I would love to see Fulham 5-0. Actually, yeah, but it's not going to happen.
It's going to be a Liverpool 3-0, isn't it?
Just catching up on
very comfortable win.
Just catching up on the chat. Red Oded's using Moreno as a cheat code in Cap 220 this week. He scored tonight.
Moreno.
It's a tip from the chat.
Which Moreno?
I think he's talking about not
Alberto, not Gerald.
No, not Alberto. The
Aston Villa one.
Alex
Moreno.
Yeah. Jesse's off to buy him in the corner now instead of contributing to the podcast.
Good shout. I like that. Good shout, Rodez.
It's a good shout, but Luca Dean's doing all right there, isn't he? It's a difficult one because I think
Europe, isn't it? You never know if they're going to play.
Yeah, if Alex Moreno's played in midweek in Europe, I'd say he's probably likely to be rested for it's tight.
I have Leno in goal for one of my Winscom teams, so prayers up for Leno. I can't see anything except
good goalie.
A comfortable Liverpool win, unfortunately.
And worth noting there as well that Keller's coming in for Alisson. I think Alisson's been declared out for 3 weeks. Is that right, roughly?
So a very cheap goalie. I don't think I've seen a zero cap 220 cheat code to use, but Kelleher's very low in his cap. So if you wanted to stick in, I might go down that route. But yeah, that's an option. Definitely, I think you'll see quite a lot of Kelleher Commons in the Cap 220 Limited this weekend. Something that I'm probably going to do as well after the success of Ramsdale. Put up a good score last week, didn't he? It's a 0 when everyone said, it's a difficult game. He actually did really well, and he cost 0. So sometimes the obvious play is the correct play. West Ham Palace. Difficult one, really. West Ham have been in European action tonight. Palace, Elise's back. Eze's meant to be back soon, right? Or did he get another injury?
He's got another injury. He's got a bad injury. He's going to be out until after Christmas.
Which is perfect because I've got his card now.
Cap 28 is Kelleher.
I think Eze's potentially done he's got an MCL strain or high ankle sprain.
High ankle, mate. He'll be all right. It won't be that bad.
Yeah, and they've obviously lost the Core now for the season. He's done his ACL.
He's really good. He'll move at the end of the season to a better team.
He's someone that makes them tick, isn't he?
Yeah.
I would normally say Palace because Palace do suit away from home football, and obviously West Ham have played in midweek. But
they rested Kudos though. Bowen didn't play.
Palace in a bad rut at the minute.
Palace losing to Luton is pretty bad. Obviously Everton done it, but and then losing Eze and Decore, who are two of their key men. I just think, I think West Ham could take the win here.
I like the Palace centre backs to pretty much play in most situations outside of the top 6 teams in the Prem. So I think we can always go for those. But maybe these West Ham attackers. Areola's probably not a bad shout, is it? Yeah, it's tough to tell. I'd go for a West Ham close victory. But
what's Will Hughes' cap? That could be a sneaky one. Has he been playing?
50 something.
Oh, is he? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
He has been playing. He's shit as well.
Oh no, 44 in the
there you go. That could be a little sneaky cap man if he has a good game.
Man City Spurs.
Man City 4-0 done.
Spurs have always been a bit of a bogey side for Man City, haven't they? For years, it seems.
Normally goals.
But Spurs are just weak at the moment in terms of they've lost a lot of people through injuries. That centre-back pairing of Basuma and Ben Davis is awful. Pedro Porro and Udogie are very good going forward, fullbacks, but really not very good at the back. For me, Man City will dick them. I wouldn't say 4-0, but probably 3-1 maybe.
Man City put a quite strong team out in midweek, and it was a tough game. They had to work hard to the end. Spurs had the weekend off. They've got this. Yeah, he played four fullbacks, didn't he, in defence last week? Big Ange.
I think they really miss.
That team looks poor. That looks like Son's going to be isolated and not much is going to happen for him.
Their early season charges, slightly faltered, but
I think they were really, buzzing to have Ben Takul back last week as well against Villa, and then he got absolutely smashed by Matty Cash and tore his ankle ligaments, so he's out for another 3 months.
Yeah.
So I just think they're after that initial, buzzing starts the season, and I do like Ange Postecoglou. I think he's quite a good manager and comes across quite well, but I think
I really like him. Yeah, cool. I really like him, and I like his brand of football. Spurs are a lot more entertaining to watch, but
they're off 3 straight losses, aren't they, Spurs? And heading into Man City away can't be much tougher than that. So I think it's going to be 4 straight losses, unfortunately.
We watched Man City play Liverpool last week, and Man City looked incredible. They didn't win the game, but they were pretty much in control and should have won it. Man City at home, I'd be picking them all time. But Lo Celso is a shout over Christmas. He's come back in, got his goal, sort of out of nowhere. Man City all round then. Is there a Monday game? No. So that is Premier League roundup done. We have got left weekly Everton. Quick look at our Prem winter comp teams, and then we're out of here. So let's go for the weekly Everton, right? Johnny's favourite. Favourite part of the week. Anyone who doesn't know, weekly Everton is Johnny's 5-man Everton stack of his choice against a random team from around the world in a 5v5 SO5 point off. Losing team puts money in the charity pot. Week 1 was Hajduk Split, where you defeated Hajduk Split, didn't you? Week 2, you were up against FC Andorra. If anyone wants to make a shout for the team for next week, write it in the chat or the comments section. First team name I see, I'm going to pick as long as they've got a game. So, go wild. Someone shot me a team. Last week it was, who did I say? FC Andorra.
Andorra, that's the one, yeah.
FC Andorra. So these were the players we picked for FC Andorra. All played, which was the first goal. Obviously, we know Everton lost 3-0 to Man United. These guys hit 272. I haven't put the captain on, actually. Who did we pick as a captain? It was.
I think it's looking at my Everton, mate. I think it might be irrelevant who you captain.
Okay. Well, 284 we ended up with. The striker let us down. The big name, the money in the team let us down. But we picked up 284 points. Do you have your Everton team?
I do. So I went for one of my Premier League winter Everton stacks of Pickford, Tarkowski, Mikolenko, Garner and McNeil. And as you well know, Everton did awfully. Pickford got 10 or so. Tarkowski, pretty rubbish. Mikolenko almost scored at the end, but wouldn't have really made much of a difference. Hit the crossbar. James Garner did okay. Dwight McNeil just continues to not quite get to the heights he got last year. So I ended up on 209. Awful effort from the boys.
Victory. I'll just shout out the names of the FC Andorra players if anyone's listening and not watching. Danny Martin, Villanova, Samper, Scheidler, and Gonzalez with a 5. They bring it home. They equalise for the rest of the world against Everton. That is 1-1. 1-1. And we've had a shout for next week's team, which is Vitesse.
Ooh.
So
they're low down in the league, so they're in
trouble. They're in trouble. So 2 teams at the bottom ends of their divisions will play off. So Vitesse. Any ideas who you're going to run in your Everton team this week?
So a very similar stack to last week, actually. I'm going to be going, obviously, for Pickford in goal. Go for Mr. Clearance off the line, Tarkowski. And I'm going to go for Decore. It's my slight difference to James Garner from last week. Decore has scored away at Nottingham Forest last year. He should have scored against Man United. He's in, and he's going to net this weekend. We're going Dwight McNeil. Obviously, he's due. It's going to happen at some point. And when he does, and I captain him 5 times across my teams, I'm going to win the whole of Sorare. And then I'm going to go for Mikolenko as well. Obviously, I had that drop-off game last weekend. Back down to 23 points or whatever it was. Bit of a back down to reality game. But, yeah, I think he'll do well. And, yeah, that's my team. I'm going to captain... Who should I captain there? I'll captain Tarkowski.
All right, Captain Tarkowski. Just having a quick look at Vitesse. We got Eloy Room, your boy's favourite, will be in nets. Mel Mullinston will definitely be in the team. He's an absolute legend for me.
Top player.
Obviously, they seem to be doing quite badly at the moment. So,
Van Ginkel, do you remember him from Chelsea?
Yeah. It's got to be Manhoof, isn't it?
Manhoof's got to play. Yeah, he looks good. Manhoof, I think, sounds better.
Yeah.
Who cares how you meant to pronounce it? So we got Vitesse Everton to look forward to next week. Is one team looks to take the lead. Have you got your Premier League winter teams ready for the weekend, John?
I do. Well, I've got a couple of them ready at least. I'm just trying to navigate myself around the new Sorare layout to find out where my things are. Okay, so it's lobby and then it's pro. Okay, so let's start with the rare because that's nice and easy because I literally have no other options than what I can put out the same every single week. So Pickford Tarkowski, the little cheeky Everton stack. We've got Souček, they're home to West Ham, home to Palace. Souček has 3 match-winning goals in the 90th minute of the last 3 games for West Ham. So he's bang on form. We've got Nicholas Jackson, who I think will probably do pretty well against Brighton, and will at least have some chances to miss, I'd imagine. And Sander Berger, I've captained him in my first attempt at this team. Maybe I'll switch that captain around, but yeah, Sander Berger. And it is a Sander Berger revenge game because obviously he came from Sheffield United to Burnley. So yeah, hoping for a good result there. And like we've discussed previously, a low score should maybe win. Well, maybe people have realised a low score wins and they'll put a lot more teams in this week. I don't know.
You still need the cards to play, though. It's the problem, isn't it? If you don't have the cards, you can't play.
So that's looking at my rare team for the weekend. It's kind of all on a Everton clean sheet, really. If Everton get a clean sheet away from home, then we're laughing. But we've got one clean sheet in 3 years, I think. So we'll see. Okay, limited wise, obviously, it's going to be pretty much full Everton stacks. Pickford, Mikalenko, Decore, McNeil, and Tarkowski. So that's the exact team I just told you, except I'm going to captain Tarkowski. All on Everton as per usual. If Everton do well, I usually do pretty well on the weekends. We've got another sort of mini Everton stack here, but I put Bruno Fernandes in as well. I haven't really finished my limited winter league, winter special teams yet, but it's pretty strong, I think. And then unfortunately, my other team, the other goalkeeper I have is the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. So it's very unlikely my third team will do well because obviously it'll be Everton and a Forest goalkeeper. We've got Vlad, what's his name? Odysseus, and then we got Tarkowski, Souček, Harrison, and I'm going to have to take Onana out now because he's been declared out of the game. But yeah, it's not too bad, but also not too good.
Yeah, I've got 4 in. I've gone for the double Everton in the rare, Branthwaite and McNeil. Højbjerg is away to Man City, so I don't like that. Leno's he was playing Liverpool, weren't they, Fulham? So don't like that. And Kufal, but seeing that you need 308 last week, give me a bit more hope. But just put these in. If you get one player that goes off, my main one is this one, Neto. We got the Bournemouth hope over here in this room. Silva is Brownhill, Visser against Luton, and Gordon against Man United.
Not a bad team. I could do it.
That's got 329 written all over it for £60. And then I've got 2 realistic teams down here. Onana, Fernandes and McTominay with a Lloyd Kelly and a Jack Harrison as the propping up the team. And then a Pickford and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The Play Sharper Everton expert does say he's a doubt, though, so we might have to revisit this. Trippier, Zuma and Rodrigo. So I don't think I'm going to be winning the competition again. Do you see last week it was Man United stacks that claimed all the top prizes?
Did they?
All the top prizes, first in all leagues, were running Man United stacks.
Did Haber get anything? I imagine he did that, didn't he?
Don't think so. They did really well. Obviously, they crushed Everton and they scored well. But yeah. Collections, guys. Collection bonuses. I think the person who won with his Man United collection was 1.4 points ahead of seconds, and that's because he ran a Man United collection. He had the bonuses. So
all we need is lots of money and lots of cards.
Lots of money and lots of cards. And just one last bit of excitement for me tonight. I've got tier 3 and ETH in rare, Cap 240 rare. Look at those boys. Fabianski, the old man Fabianski coming through. Sarah doing the deed as well. A tier 4 in Cap 270 and a tier 4 in Cap 240, even with Quaver, Hans, and Onana letting him do for free kicks. So, 3 rewards to open tomorrow.
I also got some rewards. I got a tier 3 rare as well and a tier 3 limited and limited ETH. And I was about to win a tier 2 rare, but my rare keeper conceded in like the 85th minute. I was in a tier 2 for a time. But yeah,
okay.
There we go.
All right. 1 hour and 23 minutes in. I think we've waffled on enough and we've given Jesse enough time away from his family to do his SO5 and buy players, drink a beer carefully in the corner. Yeah. So that'll do us for tonight. If you're still here or you're watching this later on, please could you like and subscribe to our channel because, it fills us with happiness when we go for our pleasurable weekends apart.
Wonder where that was going.
Yeah. The word pleasurable came out of my mouth and I was like,
interest.
Yeah. We're all off to shave our moustaches off and we will see you again next week. But for now, Sorare Thursday Club out. Viva the Thursday Club.
Up the Thursday Club.
Coffees. Come on.